Ciao ragazzi, so hey, we're gonna go through a couple things today. First of all, this was not on my agenda. This was not planned. I originally wasn't gonna say anything about this, but you know what? It's one of those things that everybody deserves to know what exactly is going on, and it's one of those things that I owe everybody an explanation all the way around. So from start to finish, we're going to go through this hopefully real quick. I am posting this to my YouTube because unfortunately things like Instagram, things like Twitter, even Facebook and that, everything has like super harsh restrictions on video limitations and stuff. So I'm just gonna go through this as much as I can. Like I said, it's going on the YouTube. I really don't use the YouTube for anything. So here we go. As you know, it is Pride Month. Okay, so there's a couple things here. The blue and green and white flag is MLM. Numero uno. I'm not a girl. Sorry, not a girl. I know that this has been a debated topic for quite some time, and my ex is willing to debate that as well. Sorry, it's not happening. Never was, never will be, as much as you wish and will it. This is Pride Month, and this is what it is. Not a girl, not a female, not a girl. Never was. Second of all, what is with the yellow and purple one? It's a condition called intersex. It is not the same as transgender. This is not being assigned one or the other at birth, and then you internally feel like the opposite of or a variant of. Intersex is literally there is no such thing as strictly binary one or the other. There's either, you could be that or any variation in between the two, which can involve hormones, which can involve anything. My version of it is androgen insensitivity, which means, yes, I have medication for life. Still, that does not make me a girl. It just doesn't. So that's the 411 on that. I will go over that more if you want me to. We're happy to, but whatever, I don't care what he says. It ain't happening. So, what happened to the cutesy cuddly lovey-dovey, whatever. Okay, we've been off and on fighting for a couple years now. This started just after we got back from Paris because, first of all, he decides that he wants to get married. Been there, done that. It's not my thing. I don't want to. So, we kind of talked around and, agreed to, if it was a mutual thing, that was like mutually beneficial, we could do something like that, but it was never the traditional sense of. That comes around to what just happened. What just happened was stuff that's been happening for a while, but see, none of the ladies that he's ever gone after, because he says, number one, he doesn't mind being the female in a relationship. He'll use trans femme as his excuse or any variation of, and he'll also say he's either bi, or, pan, or just queer in general. I can promise you I don't think he is. I'm not here to debate what he is or one way or the other. I don't really care. He's no longer my problem, and I'm trying to make sure that he's no longer your problem, because he is a problem indeed. He whatever he identifies as, it is a problem. He identifies as a problem, and we'll just continue to call him that. So, some of you have run into him before, even without me. Some of you have ran into him recently, even without me. And, a nice young lady came back and said, hey, you might want to see some stuff that he's been sending back and forth, including, he's kind of hounding her, and he's kind of then spoofing his location to agree to meet up with her, where, she's not comfortable with that. She says no, and he keeps at it. this is not the first time. This is just the first time that somebody's actually been calling him out on it. So this is the first incident where somebody that he has gone after has actually had the audacity to come back and call him out. Previously, even with me, I'm kind of like, it's furry fandom. I can't say one way or the other what's going on because I haven't seen it. I didn't catch him. You're not giving any of us proof, and I'm not the only one that's said that as well. There are other people that are involved in this that said the same thing. Where until we had something where we could actually see it firsthand, it's a bummer, but we really couldn't do anything about it. Now there is something we can do about it. Now we have proof. We have definitive proof without a shadow of a doubt. So what happened was immediately I said, "Oh, hey, by the way, so-and-so seems to have a problem with you. What happened?" Just to see what he would say. Of course, he feeds me his usual line of crap, and I said, "Okay, funny, I thought you would say that, so here we go, dude. Sorry, wrong answer, boyo. She's got over a dozen screenshots, that's a, Telegram chat," and I said, "Hey, what do you know? That sure looks like your username and your avatar. Got a reason? Got something to say? You got something to say? Cause right now's a good time to start talking." And he just he didn't challenge it. He just backed down, and he's like, I said, "That's it. That's the last time I say something to you. I'm not putting out any more fires. I'm not doing it. I've put out enough of your fires over the years. I'm not doing it anymore. You know what?" I said, "This whole thing was a mistake. All of it, all the way around. And why did I not feel good with, and moving in with him was a mutual thing where it was supposed to be beneficial for both of us. First of all, I don't need him for anything. I never did. He didn't like that. He wanted me to rely on him strictly for everything. And I said, "Oh, geez, man, I don't want to. I don't need to." And this even came around to, really gunning after me to give up my job and everything else and just basically rely on him for every little thing under the sun. I'm like, I'm not doing it. You can't make me. My answer is no. He did not take kindly to that. The whole entire time when he was sitting in Milan, he didn't take kindly to that. Over, us writing messages back and forth, letters back and forth to each other. He didn't want nothing to do with the idea that I couldn't rely on him for anything. And then, round and around we go. This is not the first time I've called him out on his stuff. This is not the first time that I told him I didn't trust him. Now I just had even more reason not to. So, how did I get messed up with him? Well, see, way back in the day, and this is where we're going to go over a few things because he thinks he has power, and he thinks that he's Mr. Hot Stuff and that he's going to show me up. All right. So we're all humans. We all make mistakes, especially when we were younger. So mistake number one was, if we go way back to when I first kind of had a little bit of, not much of an online presence, but a little bit. So take on art commissions, this, that, whatever. Seems reasonable, right? Except for, here's the thing. I never actually wanted to. I started doing it because fans actually came forward at the time, and they're the ones that prompted this, where, hey, if you sold commissions, we would, whatever. Not a good idea to do when you're in school, not a good idea to do when you're in college, when you've got, a million different things going on. And then at the time, I did not have a very good relationship with the partner that I was with. So him and I were having issues, and, all this. So, in all this, here comes Kevin, TakodaTiger, and, now that I think back on it, I'm like, well, I was like 19 when you commissioned me for the large project that you did. That was $1,200. Guys, he's about 5 years younger than me. Do the math. Yeah, if I'm 19, that would make him like 14. Now, at the time, I didn't know that he was a kid. I actually, up until a couple years ago, when I started actually having a quote-unquote dating relationship with him, I actually never knew how old he was. I just assumed he was my age. Come to find out, no, he's about 5 years younger than me. So I'm like, and I don't really like that, for lots of reasons. So the more I think about it, I'm like, if you commissioned me when I was 19, where did a 14-year-old just come up with $1,200, $1,200 US dollars, like $1,000 euros? Where did a kid come up with that money? Okay, that's suspicious. So yeah, the more I sit and think about it, I'm like, hey, that was a long time ago. So yeah, he's been a fan. He's been a lurker. He's been around. He's been a follower. He's been a customer. And, he wants to sit here and he's like, oh, well, talk about mistakes. What about you and your to-do list? Oh, the to-do list that got postponed lots of times and kind of never got fully done, or else got done very delayed because of the issues I was having with trying to have income stability with an actual job, trying to fight with my now ex, and lots of other things. And you know what? Let's just be honest. I had no support group whatsoever. Throw this into the fact that I had to fight with my parents because of what I am. Not so great. Not a great mix. Mistakes happen. Life happens. So if there was something on my to-do list, I have, for the most part, a good record of everything from over the years. I've recovered it from any old computers or old accounts as much as what I have tried to gather up. And it is still on a to-do list. The to-do list will be a to-done list, but also realize that even just the past handful of years haven't been that great. We want to talk about housing stability. We want to talk about job stability. The pandemic happened. I've had lots of health issues these past few years. So yeah, it just hasn't been great for me. And some people are upset because, once upon a time they joined a contest or something and I just never got around to a literal free art piece for them. All right. So here's your call out on me. Sometimes I didn't get stuff done back in the day. It happens. Sometimes I'm still slow these days because I work full-time plus overtime plus trying to juggle everything, and so forth and so on. And I'm not making excuses. I'm literally just telling you my life is not what I would consider the greatest. Hello, I'm currently within the next 2 weeks moving states again. Why? Because I had a better job offer somewhere else. It would cost me, I would get paid more money, and it would cost me less to live there. So yeah, I took the opportunity. I've been doing that since I was 18. Every new good opportunity that came my way that was more beneficial than the situation that I was in, I took it. And I don't regret doing that. So if that means that, unfortunately, you just didn't get your free art piece yet, yeah, sorry, you can be mad at me. That's fine. Be mad at me. Come yell at me, come tell me, come cuss me out, whatever. But you could either, play this game of you have never had any of these issues in your entire life and you don't know what that's like. Or you can just come back and say, oh yeah, I know what that's like and I had that same thing. So when you're talking to somebody that's early teens or, young adult, late teens, college and that is, unless you're living at home with your parents or you have parental support, that's rough. It's rough being out there all on your own. So what's the deal with him? Oh, he comes in. Okay. And he's just been around. Why did I start making an item out of him lately? Because he was a good emotional support rock. I was dealing with some stuff with the ex just before him. And that was a rebound ex with the ex-husband. So two not so great relationships. And in between, even with the ex-husband, there's been a couple of other, rebound relationships snuck in between. So yeah, my past decade hasn't been the greatest moments of my life. And it took me until last year, it took me until May of last year to finally realize I actually can get it together now. I actually feel decent. I feel pretty good. I'm on the right track finally. That took until my early 30s. Sometimes that happens with life. And I tried telling people that over the years, but nobody wanted to hear it. Instead, it was, let's play the blame game and point fingers instead. Alright. So, you want to cancel me for that? Fine. There's the door. See you. Ciao. Bye. Gone. Like, just leave. Don't, make a deal out of it. You don't have to stay my follower for any reason. Even with this, if you don't like the situation between me and him, if you want to support him, go ahead. You want to be his buddy? Go ahead. But I'm going to tell you right now, he is not safe for women. Men, on the other hand, we're fine. We can handle him. That's not a big deal. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be the last dude that he tries to mess with because he's probably scared at this point. He's gotten chewed out for about 3 days straight now, and he's pretty sick of me. So, if he wants to come back and play the abuse victim card, I'm going to tell you right now, oh yeah, I laid into him with good reason, and I'm not the only one that did. There are other people that have laid into him prior to this, and even with this, including some of my friends and some of my followers. So, he wants to sneak around and do dirty things and shady things, and, this guy's got a rap sheet from when he was a kid even, before he was 18. Oh, what happened with him staying in Milan in that jail? Too bad Italy didn't prosecute him. Too bad his country actually finally pulled him out. Honestly, I wish he would have either came to either one of my two countries. I wish he would have either stayed there in Milan, or I wish he would have came here to the US. Because his screwing around has to come to an end. I didn't start this, but I'm going to be the one to end it. And as for you guys, what side you pick doesn't matter to me. This isn't about picking sides. This is about staying safe. This is about, this guy is dangerous to women. He lies about everything that he can. He'll use flattery to get his way. And he sulks and cries and kicks and screams like a child when he doesn't get his way. So right now, what's the deal? Alright, I used him as a mail forwarding service for some international plushies that are vintage 90s and discontinued and very rare, hard to find. So he owes me that, and I just asked him about 2 weeks ago, hey, can you cover customs for me? Technically you owe me quite a bit of money from shipping you boxes and covering customs, and I've had to bail this guy out more times than I can count. That's what's up. So, in all that, because I've had to bail him out so much, yeah, this is not a good situation. And, he says, oh no, I got the money. So, I don't know if he's still working at the National Railway in Belgium. I don't know if he lost that job. I don't know what's up, but he's been doing a quote-unquote soccer thing with some IT stuff and tech stuff and setup and that for this soccer. And he's basically been doing gig work for the past 2-3 weeks now. And I said, funny, I didn't know in Europe you could just take off from your day job, still get paid by the day job, and run off and go do other stuff. And he says, oh, well, my boss just auto-approves any time off that I ask for. And I'm like, right, sure, because that totally is the thing. No, it's not. Any family and friends that I have over there, that's not a thing. The EU is set up much the same way that USA is. And he thinks I'm an idiot. And he thinks that I would never, I said, you know what? Yeah, I was an idiot. You're right. I was stupid. I made a mistake. You know what my mistake was? I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't make sure that I went online and looked up everything about you beforehand. I never went out of my way to, besides some furry bewares. Okay, well, we all know that furry bewares can go either which way, so I try not to read into them too much, and I try to just kind of ignore them, because a lot of times they can be literally call out cancel culture and drama. In this instance, they are not. So, you know what? Pay attention to them. If you're wondering what's going on and, what he did with whatever, that was some kind of airline fraud. In his country, got him a lesser charge. And they basically got it dropped. And they told him that he would be on probation. His probation is up, guys. His probation ended back in May. Now, if he wants to continue screwing around, I told him this over Telegram, and I'm telling you guys now. He wants to mess around? Policia. That's what this is going to be. Keep screwing with me, see where this leads you. I am not afraid to call the cops on you. I'm also not afraid to spend a couple $1,000s and put in a time off. I can put in emergency time off if I really have to. Don't want to, because I don't get paid for that. But if I have to, I will put in emergency time off at my company, and I will literally take a few days, go over there, and show up at his doorstep with cops. That's how this is going to end if he doesn't knock it off. I told him yesterday, I told him this morning. My advice to you, run. Run and never return. Don't be bothering me. Don't be bothering my friends. Don't be bothering my fans. And don't be bothering no women. No more. No. Niente. No. No more. Get lost. Get lost. Stay lost. That's how this is going to work. You want to support him? Fine. But don't stay one of my followers. Don't stay one of my fans. I don't want to hear about how he's such a good guy. No, he's not. Literally, I've known the creep for 15 years. He's not. Let him go. Let him go. You'd be best to actually just ban him altogether from any events. Ban him from Eurofriends. Ban him from anywhere. I don't even know if he can come back to the US. Probably not. He'd probably get in trouble if he comes here. He's been avoiding it. He's been avoiding here. He's been avoiding Italy. So my hunch is that what he says is true, that if he comes back to either one of my two countries, he's going to get screwed. But I'll tell you what, he sits here and he tells me that he's in Amsterdam this week. Really? Either that or he went to Switzerland. I can't tell which. He's talking about Swiss, but he's also talking about Netherlands, and he seems to be back and forth, and then he says sometimes he goes to Germany, sometimes he's up in the UK. I don't know where the hell he goes. I don't know what's real or what's not with him. I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is I've got a lot of female followers, a lot of female fans, and I got a lot of youngers that follow me, that are young teenagers and that. Guys, don't get messed up with him. He'll promise you the world. He'll promise you everything. And he will literally exploit every little weakness that you have. And what he thought with me was, I was emotionally vulnerable, so he thought he could just swoop on in and do his usual Prince Charming act. And it was like, yeah, well, you're a little happily ever after and all this stuff. We don't live in a fairy tale. I told him that. I told his mother that. She wants to defend him as her little baby birdie and keep him for the rest of his life. She should. She should hold on to him. And when she decides that she's going to retire and move back to Thailand because his dad's no longer alive and she doesn't have anybody around in Belgium and she's not very fluent in any of these languages, honestly, you know what? Since it's on her agenda to move back to Thailand, she ought to take him with. Take him with and let him go be with his family for the rest of his life. He don't need no girlfriends. He don't need no boyfriends. He don't need nobody. And as far as me, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody. I don't need that. I don't need somebody that identifies as a problem. I don't need somebody that's going to be a problem. That's not how this works. He is a problem. He is my problem currently because he owes me stuff. As soon as I get my stuff, he's no longer my problem. But I'll tell you what, as long as I'm around, I'm going to make sure that he doesn't bother anybody else to the extent of how much I can. because I do not want him to be a problem to anybody else. I don't want to hear from another female that he has gone up to them asking for sexual favors. I don't want to hear from another girl ever that he has manipulated them and used them. Yeah, he did it to me, okay, willing partner in that half. That's my own fault. And I'm more than happy to admit, I screwed up. I screwed up because I thought he was my friend. Boy, was I wrong. I've been wrong before, and this time I was very wrong. So, sorry. Sometimes I don't double check on everybody, and maybe that's, one of my faults. Maybe I should make sure that I double check on everybody from now on. And as for this, if you're watching this and you think that you have a boy crush or fan crush or whatever, and you wish to date, my advice to you is like a handshake with the devil. You're either all in or you're out. There is no in between with me. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to be with this, that's a lot to handle, because I don't need somebody for literally any reason. I have my own finances, I have my own business, I have everything that I ever need. And I am emotionally okay with being what I am, who I am, how I am, without anybody telling me any which other way. I don't need somebody like that. I don't need it. So, yeah, out there, some dude thinks that, oh man, I really like you. Sure, fine. I'm not in the mood for partners right now. And you know what? Marriage is not my thing. Partnership, what are partners to me? You guys, literally my partner is a best friend, but you're not above my friends. You're not different than my friends. You're basically just a friend that I cuddle up with and yeah, stuff like that. Other than that, you're not any different than any of my other friends. There's another thing. There is none of that without an emotional connection. It's called demisexual. Even then, it's so-so. I'm not immediately attracted to every person out there that I talk to or look at. Gray sexual. Look it up. It's a thing. Don't come barking up this tree unless you're actually serious and you actually have something to bring to the table. You gotta have your own life. You gotta have your own finances and everything worked out. And you know what? I don't like living somewhere forever and ever. And this whole little fairy tale fantasy of let's get married and happily ever. No, guys, not me. Not that I want multiple partners or anything. Not that I want to be, sleeping around kind of stuff. It's just not my thing for this little Prince Charming, happily ever after kind of stuff. Like, real life isn't like that. There's some cute things that come with being in a relationship. But, if this dude wants to try and out me for whatever this was, pick your battles wisely, my man. It ain't worth it. Is that a fight you're willing to lose? Because you're losing it right now, and you're going to lose harder if you keep it up. So, we'll see if he gives me my stuff. If not, well, who you going to call, right? So, that's the 411 on what's been going on. And I don't do this to drag him through the mud. I don't really care. I'm doing this because everybody deserves a warning. Stay away from him, especially if you're a female. That means if you were assigned female at birth, I don't care if you're non-binary, I don't care if you're transmasc, I don't care, whatever. If you're assigned female at birth, and you are biologically female, or if you are biologically male and transgender female, stay away from him. Because he's going to exploit that to the best of his ability. The problem is that he tried exploiting the wrong person this time, and it backfired on him. Because with this, he thought he was smart. And I already told him, you're not smarter than all my other exes. You're not. So, who dumped who? I dumped him. Like a rock. Ciao.